Hi, everyone. I'm Todd Canatelli. I'm the Mountain Bike Program Manager. Thank you for joining us today. We're super excited to introduce you to the all-new Stumpjumper 15. It's one bike to rule all trails. To be one bike to rule all trails, we had to focus on breakthrough capability, ultimate control, and unmatched personalization for any rider on any trail. But before we get into what's all new with the Stumpjumper 15, I think it's worth looking at where we came from. So I have with me here Sam Benedict, the global mountain bike category leader. Sam, we're looking at a bike that's over 4 decades old. How did we get here?
Thanks, Todd. It's really fascinating when you think about mountain biking and where we came from and how much it's changed, but it hasn't really changed at all. Like, what do we want to do? Well, we want to serve you, the rider. How can we make the trails more fun? How can we make them a little bit safer? And how can we provide you with your bike? Something that you're stoked on, that's easy to pick, easy to throw a leg over, and just go. So you look at the original Stumpjumper, back in 1981, it was just that. You got the best bike for you that was ready to go right out of the box, and it was freaking amazing. And fast forward to now, the idea is still the same. How can we make this your bike? How can you throw a leg over it? Make it easy for you to ride, and make it easy to pick the right one for you. Now, easy for me to say, but difficult to actually execute. Because when you think about what the trails were like back in the 70s versus now, I think rowdy and pretty crazy and really a global sport is what has really changed now. So that makes it really fun for our teams to figure out how we can execute this. And we continue to always chase, always be curious on how we can execute that for you. And right now, we have a Stumpjumper and a Stumpjumper Evo, wonderful bikes, really fun bikes that the team worked hard on. These are, by some measures, bike of the year and an amazing place to start from. But one thing that we really wanted to do is, again, how can we still give you the bike that you want, that has that capability that you can personalize, but also make it simpler to pick? So now you have one Stumpjumper, one platform to work off of to get you all that capability. Combining those bikes together, not easy, but fortunately, we got the team of pros here. And we want to kick it over to Steve Soletnik to take you through the capability and how we were able to bring those two bikes together.
It seems like a lot of pressure when the last bike is really good. Do you want to make it incrementally better, or do you want to make it like drastically better? And those, I think, are two different challenges. That's the team's goal, right? To make the bikes drastically better. So how could we just tear the thing down to the studs and start over, Let's forget everything we know about every layout that we have in our arsenal and evaluate anything and everything. We made mules of different layouts, basically just questioned it hey, do we want to make the Stumpjumper a 4-bar FSR bike, or do we want to do something completely different, We've been doing 4-bar bikes for a long time for a good reason. They give you a really good balance of things you want in a trail bike. The engineers can tweak the kinematics really easily, they're pretty light. You can make a bike with good C-post insertion. It's a classic layout for Specialized, and I think that's cool.
Wow, that's freaking amazing. Steve, the team, did such a wonderful job on this Stumpjumper 15. I can't wait for y'all to ride this. It's amazing. And, I think one of the things that comes into why our bikes ride the way they do is because we have such dedicated people that really focus on the details. And we like to affectionately call these teammates the science club. And what does that mean? These are the people that are focused on all the little details. This is human performance and things like body geometry. How do we get that synergy between the bike and the body? This is aerodynamics. How can we cut through the wind? And one team that we work exceptionally close with on the mountain bike side of things is the Ride Dynamics team. Now, what is Ride Dynamics? They're really focused on how the chassis and the earth, the stumps, the rocks, the logs, how do we deal with those kind of situations? This is geometry, this is suspension, this is kinematics, leverage. All those details are critical to making sure that your bike has that capability and control. So, Todd, you work really closely with these guys. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about them?
One of the single largest innovations that came out of the Ride Dynamics team is a pneumatic spring assist or PSA, in the new Stumpjumper 15 rear shock. We like to call it Genie. Genie provides a magic carpet ride. It grants every trail rider their 3 wishes. It gives you that linear spring feel and that maximum grip and control that you get from a coil. It gives you that huge support and end ramp bottom out prevention that you get from an air spring. And it gives you infinite tunability for a super playful and poppy feel when you need it. Now let's hear from Chance Farrow from our Ride Dynamics team, the brilliant mind behind the all-new Genie shock technology.
Steve planned a trip to Silver Mountain, Idaho, and said basically pack all your and all your ideas and let's go just ride as a team, because I've been kind of playing with like really big volume. We rode it and all of us kind of just like looked at each other after and we're like, there's kind of something here. Bigger volume, flattening the spring curve and making a more usable travel is better. And then the PSA is actually what solved for the downsides of that.
As riding has progressed, it's gotten more and more aggressive and bottom out forces have gotten higher and higher. What if we tuned for the 90% of events and ignored those 10% of events that are big drops and bottom out events and all that? And we stumbled upon loving big volume.
PSA really describes what the Genie tech is, and that's pneumatic spring assist.
We know all riders are going to benefit from our all-new Genie shock. Let's hear from one of them right now. This is Georgia Leslie from our UK office, mountain bike brand manager, on how the all-new Stumpjumper 15 with the Genie shock has made her ride that much better.
As a lighter rider, I always find that I struggle to get full travel out of standard air shocks. I can never get off the top, it always feels really harsh, then it gets bogged down. However, I got straight on the Stumpjumper with Genie, and it was like the first time ever that I was able to get full travel without compromising the bottom out. It genuinely just feels like it has more travel than it technically does on paper. If I had to sum Genie up in one sentence, I mean, it's not really a sentence, but it's right.
Thank you all for spending your morning, your afternoon, your evening with us today, wherever you might be. We're so excited to bring the all-new Stumpjumper 15 with Genie technology. The team has been working tirelessly for over 3 years to bring the all-new Stumpjumper 15 to you. Please check out all the details here on Specialized.com. Visit your local Specialized retailer to schedule a test ride. We can't wait for you to experience the magic carpet ride of the all-new Stumpjumper 15. Thank you.